You think so?
Yeah, and it'll start here, game 1, game 2.
Well, for FaZe, it needs to be a FaZe Sunday. Otherwise, it's going to be a Liquid Monday as we come into our first map here on Erangel, coming across a nice, easy, calm plane.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see as far as a plane goes if you're any of these teams that have to kind of make moves early here. And interestingly enough, we see FaZe dropping out early. So I guess they've completely given up on the Mill to Power dream here.
Potentially maybe down to Primorsk or around that quarry region for FaZe, but hey, earlier the better. We'll see how that plays out for them. Maybe mixing things up, Poro. And that's potentially what FaZe need to do, mix things up.
You know,
because obviously yesterday didn't work at all.
It's such a mixed bag, though, because you start mixing things up, you get too far away from the play style that you've grown so accustomed to, that you've seen so much success with, and now all of a sudden you're coming in, rotating in from different paths. You've got different teams that are going to be in front of you, so it makes things a little bit. It just adds that one additional element of risk in there. So we'll see how the FaZe boys cope up with it here as we check in on AT coming down. In a lovely shade of FaZe red today. We're not orange.
Yes.
We like to see it. We love to see it.
We do love to see it. For FaZe, they would definitely love to see better performances today for what is the final day of the semifinals. Match 1, Erangel. Let's get our first circle. Okay. Oh, it's Yasnaya, potentially Stalber if it keeps going north, but certainly couldn't be further away for FaZe. If we're watching them and talking about them, that's probably not an ideal circle to start with, Poro.
That is going to be an interesting rotation path. I mean, I imagine what we'll probably see them do is something where they stay along the west coast, come along from the north side. They are used to those hard northern rotations, but that is but one team in this map. There are so many teams that we need to be concerned with today as we check back the circle. Lazarus right dead center in Yasnaya, all to themselves. We have SKT just off to their east, and Red Canids have Pachinki all to themselves. And
just south of Red Canids is WClick on the cliffs. They've been a standout team, and we'll see where they will finish, but it's looking likely that it will be in the top 16.
Yeah.
Can Red Canids join them is the question, potentially, of the two LATAM teams. We might see both of them heading off to Oakland, and wouldn't that be something special?
I mean, WClick's been an absolute revelation this tournament. I mean, this is the best we've seen improvement from these Latin American teams over the course of the year. You know, we saw more improvement at the GLL Grand Slam where they outperformed all the North American teams there. Hate to say it, but it's, you know, stats are stats. Ball don't lie, and it's true. So, you know, seeing them perform even better now that we've gotten to this global championship stage is a really, really heartening, and I like to see this region stepping up.
Rybo and Stilson are probably the more common known names from WClick, but I think Harold and Ragnar, like just giving them a shout out, they've been outstanding for me as a neutral viewer in a sense, and they haven't been carrying the team, but man, it's such a team performance for WClick, and you could kind of say the same for Red Canids. I know a lot of people know Andy, Rusty Zera, but Psycho and Raspu have been definitely holding their own, so huge shout out to those two, and we'll see how those two LATAM teams will go today. You mentioned before that circle, actually GEX have sent Sophia right up towards the west of Stalber very early. Gabba just watching AHQ rotating by. Unable to find anything though. To CC from AHQ, who interestingly sitting in the 16th position right now, 32 points. We talk about what the cutoff points will be. Well, right now, AHQ are setting the tone. So FaZe in last place, 18 points behind AHQ. When you think about it, Poro, like a 10-kill win for FaZe and 0 points from AHQ, and that just puts them straight into 16th. So AHQ have got a lot on the line here today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we got our lowest B group team that is not playing, no longer playing infantry, sitting on 39 points. So that's most likely the first spot that's going to go as we check in with QM, making their way in just north of the lake to the west of Yasnaya. You know, they've got 4 a.m. just to the south of them, and the question on everybody's minds is 4 a.m. for real? What are they going to do today, knowing that they have such a lead? As we see Helen going to take a few shots at a passing Purdy Curdy, but not going to find any joy.
A few shots, took almost all the shots, and yet didn't land a single one onto Purdy Curdy, who drives by. It's interesting to see right now, at least from the map that we can see, is a lot of teams are pushing up north of Yasnaya, north of the pond next to Yasnaya, rather than playing the fields, obviously, which is not what you want to do, but they seem to be assuming this circle is going to go north, that it's going to be around Stalber. That's not a given, though. Phase 2, if it goes south, Poro, we're going to see a lot more rotations happening happening once again, like we're seeing here for phase 1. Hallen's going to get joined by Ada. Obviously, for Lazarus around the Yasnaya region, they're going to get this warehouse pretty comfortably early, just south of Stalba.
Well, if you're a conspiracy theorist and you believe that the crates predict where the next circle is going to go, we have a crate right in the south side of Yasnaya right now. Ghost has made their way into the city as we see TSM making their way here in the south. They have Vendetta, W-Click, and Red Cannons all around them. It's going to be interesting to see where they decided to go, how deep they decide to go here.
And TSM were sort of like our 4 AM from Friday. They were dominating their lobby. They were in control, cruise control. Now, of course, they're going to be playing with 4 AM here today on Sunday. We'll see if TSM can continue to ascend. We
thought TSM had a dominating performance on Friday until we saw what 4 AM was pulling out, where they come out with another 23 additional points over what TSM cut the engine off, creeping up to heaven here, seeing if anybody takes any shots at them. Nothing just yet, so TSM might have found themselves a home as W-Click is going to keep going past them. Tempo Storm still looking for where they want to go on the western edge here.
TSM might be one of the few who decide to hold south of Yasnaya for this circle. There will be a couple of Freak of Freaks just around Lipovka spread out north of it. We're actually seeing shots from Red Cannons onto Vendetta, and Vendetta's a team that probably want to find kills today, Poro, but maybe not this early on, maybe not at the 6.5 minute mark. We've seen how that goes for them from Friday, and it didn't go well against TSM.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a rough time in their looting spot with Farm and Milta being right there. TSM just kind of kept running into them and feeding off them a little bit as we see a few shots getting traded back and forth here between the T1 squad. They are just to the east of Yasnaya in a 2-2 split. They have Ghost just off to their west.
Yeah, T1 playing the 2-2 split, 2 north of Yasnaya and 2 pretty much even with Yasnaya. So I think they're playing this pretty smart right now for T1's sake. So from heaven, spot Red Canids going through the swamp just north of Mansion. Vendetta actually ended up holding around Shelter from that early exchange with Red Canids, who have obviously moved forward. Sting Divine Esports just pushing up near Potato Hill. They're going to be coming in late. And as for the phase update, Poro, they're over at Everest. So they'll be coming in probably another minute or so.
Well, this is good from phase, actually, because, you know, you're dropping in a location that you're, you know, I mean, obviously these guys are accustomed to this, right? This is something that they practice, but it's not something that they've done as frequently as they have their Milta power drop. This, you know, so coming in a little bit later when the circle goes that far away from you, taking the time to make sure you loot up. They're not eating any blue damage.
You wonder how much loot they were able to find in that time, though.
Yeah, you know, they're barely ahead of the circle. They'll come in late. They'll be fine.
Speaking of fine, though, W-Click have been spotted by TSM. Not a team you want to take too lightly here. W-Click priming the nade, but so is Rory into the hole. Might have thrown it a little too far at the backside towards Ragnar. Nade throw from W-Click, a Silza with a headshot knockdown onto Rory. They spot Gustav as well, just to the left of the tree. Now he has to fall back, and I don't think there's any saving Rory here, and there might not be any saving Gustav either. W-Click are not a team you want to take lightly, despite how good TSM have been playing.
Well, it came down to a 2v2, and W-Click comes out ahead on getting the first down on Rory. Now they're getting support from Harold and Rybo. Iro and Michael still in heaven, trying to provide some oversight, but not getting any angles here.
Michael's pushing up. He's pushed over to Gustav. Needs to give him some backup because they know the rest of W-Click want to take this fight. You can see Shrimsy's getting involved as well. Now they'll take shots at TSM or W-Click, whoever they can spot. Oh, Rybo gets the knockdown onto Gustav. The spray's decent. Iro with a triple tap. He gets knocked down, Rybo, though, to Iro. Nice trade back for TSM, but they're wounded. They're only down to 2 players remaining. As Iro can't confirm Harold, who gets away on half health. W-Click down to 3, TSM down to 2.
Iro trading it back, but maybe just a little bit late. It maybe could have saved his teammate there. As a new circle has popped, and we see we're going over to the Yasnaya fields. All our teams that are up towards the north side now have to make that decision. Do they want to go south of the lake here? Do they want to go south of Yasnaya? Or do they want to bide their time and see what happens next?
You say those teams up north, it's Stalba region teams at the moment. AHQ, Lazarus, 4 AM are in that vicinity as well, along with GEX. FaZe have decided to rotate back from shooting range towards Rollsock Turtles. Spots Michael driving by. Iro will be following him after that here. And will Iro make it out alive, though? W-Click, Sting Divine, both looking at his direction. Not the start that TSM were expecting. Fortunately, they got a lot of their points already on Friday, Poro, so they're not going to be too stressful going into today, despite this rough start.
Yeah, they can afford to have a few rough games here and still be pretty comfortable. Good seeing SDV take a few shots early here, is that's been kind of one of their biggest criticisms going into this, is that they manage to get to late game, but they don't manage to get a lot of kills. So seeing them play a little bit more aggressive there is good news. As we check back in with 4AM coming into the north side of Yasnaya, they've got QM crashing just to their south.
QM and 4AM both wanting to take the western end of Yasnaya Polyana. Tempo Storm running a 2-2 split though at the bridge. I think this is probably one of the better locations right now that you could ask for. Depending on how phases 3 and 4 play out, they can obviously take either side of the river and then play north or south as well as west and east as QM take the Wizzy Tower in the fields. If it does continue to those fields, Poro, this is a decent spot that will get you a great placement towards the end of the game.
Oof. Nice shots there from GYY. Gonna take McCoy pretty low, as I've never heard it referred to as a Wizzy Tower before. Now
Wizard
that's
Tower?
my favorite thing.
Wizard into Wizzy.
Wizard into Wizzy. That's that might be my new favorite thing. It's adorable.
Thank you.
I love it. Okay, QM finding the shots onto Wayless early here, and if TSM is feeling okay, they've got I think 4AM is a little bit more secure in their standings. They can afford to have, you know, probably
you
6 bad games.
77 points in 6 games.
Yeah, they should be fine.
I'm sure 4AM will be fine. There was a lot of debate about 4AM and what maybe they should do today. A lot of talk about maybe trying to make sure some teams don't qualify.
Yeah.
Not necessarily hot dropping, but maybe cutting off rotations or just being a bit of a nuisance. 4AM, I think, are just going to play their normal game.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though. Who is 4AM scared of? You know, who would they really focus on and say, like, oh, yeah, we don't want them to. I think they can kill pretty much everybody, as you see Wayless actually going down again. QM needs to be careful. Maybe they're going to start attracting the attention of 4AM here, as Wu Fang going to try to get the flushing grenade.
Now, that's a second knock onto Wayless as well, so he is bleeding out rather quickly. ZGG is going to have to speed up the process. GYY doing a decent job for QM. You can look at ZGG's stats as well. First in damage and kills. 25 seconds until phase number 3. As Yan Lee's going to bleed out to Uncivil for Lazarus, one of North America's hopes for today.
Yeah, North American hopes definitely hinging on Lazarus, Tempo Storm, and to see if maybe Ghost can rally from a very, very rough day 1. They've got a lot of work to do, though. As we see Tempo Storm in a 2-2 split. Now, where's this next circle going to go? Wow, we're going to cut back to the northeast. So we're going everywhere here. We're going to go north, and we're going to cheat south, and we're going to go back up to the north. And
it's a bait and switch, Poro.
It is, yeah. Yeah, that is not what you want to see.
Fortunately for Lazarus, they didn't give in to the bait and switch. They stayed at the warehouse. Now they're in a favorable position for phase 3.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing that rotation again for all the teams that were around Stalba, went south of Yasnaya. Well, now they're just backtracking immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard shift, interesting shift. Vendetta now in some trouble. They've made it past Tempo. Can they make it past 4AM?
Wayless is pretty good with the spray here as they go by. Icon's going to be knocked down. It's further bad news for Vendetta. It just seems anything that they do just doesn't work out. Crit was able to get by. Non-red pulls up short on the hill, looking for the yellows. Edge is going to get there too. Can he make it in safely, though? He can. Oh, that's probably the best it's been for Vendetta so far this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they lose one in a very scary rotation, and they force Tempo to make their way out here as forever. Oh my God, Yeezy gonna take down Critical, and he is far away from the rest of the boys here. It's gonna be a rough res for the Vendetta squad.
Wayless goes down. That was his third knock, was finished off by Easy. Xiaolu changing position here with the rest of 4AM as McCoy spots him. Ghost Gaming are in here as well. We've actually got a lot of teams now that have decided to crash into Yasnaya. It's obviously a fairly big city. You can fit a lot of teams in. ZGG knocked down by Strimzy. 4AM certainly not playing with the same pizzazz as yesterday. In fact, they're the fodder today.
Yeah, Ghost getting a lot of downs here so far, but no kills confirmed just yet. Seems like they're doing a lot of damage farming, but nothing really to show for it. As Forever going to try to put the smoke wall down, stay alive for a little bit longer. He's going to take a few shots from McCoy, but he'll stay alive for now.
Forever and Xiaolu last to align for 4 angry men. Stark contrast from what we saw of them yesterday. As FaZe Clan continue their rotation up north towards Stalba. They've got Tempo Storm just to their left. See Maluk further afield, up above. GEX as well, watching from the hillside. You say, because now 80's getting shot out.
This could be rough here, and they also have Sun Sister and AHQ at the top of the mountain here in Stalbert. So this could end up being Very, very sketchy fight at the very northern edge.
It could be Tempo Storm, though, who might find a knockdown or two here on the rotation for FaZe. They're slowing down as they reach the top here. 80 knocked down by Luke. Now spots Fud's face as well. Zamp is up close. He gets the knockdown, and then the eliminations will follow. FaZe Clan are in some trouble, but Maxi finds a knockdown onto Zamp, but maybe try and turn things around. No, he's not turning this ship around. FaZe Sunday. I don't think so.
Uba's still alive. Uba's still alive in the blue. Nothing really going for FaZe Clan so far, but that was a really rough rotation. Sunsister now has the full attention of what's going on up here. We'll have to see where the next circle goes. We're going to the east and just to the north of Yaz. So all of this going on Stalwart Mountain is going to have to get settled very quickly.
There's a lot of dead area in this circle as well. Those fields out to the east of Yaznaya are basically unplayable. So Lazarus are going to hold a high ground position as this next few phases progress. One of the better positions. I think for TSM, they're just going to try and get to the middle of the field as quick as possible. Uber knocked down onto Crazy Sam, but I just don't see a way out of here for Uber, considering they are dead last on 14 points. They might get nothing from game one here. It's likely they get nothing.
So very scary time for FaZe fans. As we see Uber.
He's got nades.
He's got nades. Can make something happen here. It looks like, oh my gosh, he's trying to go
realizes this nade is coming and gets Crazy Sam. That's at least 1 point. It's something, but Uber's in the blue. 3 damage a second here, and he's going to have FearChan peek over, eliminating FaZe in 16th position. Now Tempo Storm at the hands of GEX have lost 2. The Luke and Sharpshot. It'll be a third with Sharky. Oh, they're all gone now for Tempo Storm.
Tempo did manage to pick up a couple of kills there off of FaZe, but going out in 15th plate and definitely not the start they're looking for.
It's in the kill feed, QM and Vendetta going toe to toe. That's actually in the very dead center of Yaznaya. Easy pushing in
looks like we with Liga. Yeah, we're gonna get a res here on non-reg. So I believe Vendetta still have 2 up. Gex and GEX looks like they're sending 1 down to the south here, maybe considering entering the city. Meanwhile, Lazarus still has oversight of everything. Ghost just trading from apartment to apartment.
W-Click pushing onto QM. From the looks of it, Silzen's pushed up close along with Harold. Nicky's going to find a knockdown onto Michael, but yes, you can see Ragnar and Silzen in the same vicinity as Liga from QM. Easy spots them though. Prime Tonight's got 5 of them. Throws it inside, but now he spots that. W-Click are pushed back. That'll at least buy some time for QM. 2 kills for them, but only 2 players remain. The revival to non-reg for Vendetta did take place and was successful from Edge. They are inside of the circle, but you can see the congestion now on the east side of Yaznaya. It's quite impactful. A lot of teams in such a small vicinity as Purdy Curdy finds the elimination onto Gabba. Sunsister trying to come down the hill of Stalba. AHQ in the similar vicinity as well. They're going to be pushing in from behind Sunsister. Potentially Poro more kills lining up for Lazarus.
Yeah, Lazarus in a nice little spot here, kind of oversee everything. They are on the edge of the circle. You see him take a few passing shots at GEX. Nothing going to find its home just yet, but Sunsister coming alive here against AHQ up in the north side. Looks like Luke 12 might be wanting to come over the top and see if he can sneak something away from this.
FearChan the last one alive for Sunsister. Knocked down onto his teammate. SR's there. Luke 12 is taking shots to try and third party. There goes FearChan. Luke 12 picks up the kill for Lazarus. SR's knocked down as well. That was from FearChan. It could get stolen from Luke 12. CC is the last one alive for AHQ. Was spotted as well by a Freak of Freaks. You can see them in the back distance. As Shadow will pick up the kill onto SR.
We're gonna have to ask Luke 12 if that 6x dinner plate DP is a new meta item there, as he managed to pick up a nice kill there. CC, as you said, still alive.
When you look at, but this map's about to pop.
Yeah, go.
For phase 5.
If this
go and have a look
away
at
from
Yaznaya.
Yaz, it's gonna be disgusting.
Yeah, look at Yaznaya here. It is so packed right now, and I presume it's gonna move away.
Ooh. Okay.
Apartments are in for Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, Ghost is gonna be in for an interesting decision here, as they are currently kind of in a 2-1-1 between 3 different buildings, but I don't know if it's too late at this point to really get themselves back together, or if staying split right now might be the play, just so they can get more angles of fire.
It's a war zone inside of Yaznaya. Nade from Forever has a couple. These nades are going to be probably just about thrown by everyone very shortly as teams scramble for these apartments. Vendetta getting pushed on by QM. They're getting shot at by Ghost Gaming as well, who have got the angles, as you said, from those apartments. Forever. And they find a knockdown. Edge is going to be taken down by Shrimsy. When you're holding 3 apartments, you can get a lot of angles, a lot of sight lines. But if they do get breached at any point, it might be tough for Ghost Gaming. Sophia pulls up short. They've got the smokes. Forever knows he's getting breached. Throws out every nade in every angle that he possibly can think of. Oh! He got Leo. Sophia's knocked down as well. That was from Leo's nade. Team Fire. It's not friendly, though, for GEX and Forever. Holding on, maybe Forever.
They're going to wish they had that
Final
breach
nade.
back.
Does he go for Shy Way? Underarm throw. It's pretty good, but it doesn't get the elimination. Oh, they get the revive as well at the right time.
So close. There's TSM, the last few remaining members getting crashed here by SDV. Iroh gonna stay alive for just a little bit longer. So close. He's already got 4 kills for the boys, and he's gonna get the res here onto Michael as well.
And they're inside of one of the only buildings outside of Yasnaya that is inside of this circle. Forever got the kill onto Kane after Drassel found the knockdown. It's one very angry man right now that's getting breached by GEX. But yet, as this continues, there's less and less competition. As Non-Reg is eliminated, that's the end of Vendetta. Flash grenade, he just doesn't know when they're going to be pushing. I don't think they're concerned with pushing right now, Poro, because for GEX, they've been quite slaughtered. McCoy spots Forever. Oh! Straight into Leo's captain. He gets finished off anyway by Shy Way. Leo didn't know what hit him.
That was so close there. Leo not even expecting it. Is now Nikki going to take some fire here from Iroh. He's going to hide behind the exploding vehicle, just blow it up. Oh no, Vegas and Drassel.
Ghost Gaming are cleaning up right now from these apartments. They've got such a high ground position. They can see in the field. They can get the angles for the players and teams that are inside of the city of Yasnaya. W-Click have taken their own apartment building for themselves. Red Cannon's out to the far east trying to deal with the Freak of Freaks. And of course, Lazarus still from that warehouse sort of position around the top of Stelba up north have been using that high ground advantage, but they can't get teams inside of Yaz. Let's see what phase 6 brings for us here for what is match 1. Oh, they get the feed for Lazarus.
T1 has been finished off between the combination of AFF and Red Cannons. Now Lazarus, not only do they get the circle, they also get double level 3 gear here and a nice bullet hose in the M249. Let's just see what they can make happen of it.
AHQ went out with 1 point, so that 16th position hasn't moved too much in terms of AHQ. Red Cannons are going to get the revive, but eventually they're going to have to take this fight with the Freak of Freaks. Out to the east, presumably Lazarus will find an angle here and get a third party from the north. You can see Uncivil, Luke 12, taking shots at Shadow and Lambu, who are just trying to move forward. They're just trying to get into the circle, but they're finding they're getting met by Lazarus. 4 kills so far. I think that's going to double up by at least the end of this game.
That is a tough push. TSM, meanwhile, out in the fields, have to figure out how they're going to make their way into this new circle. And we still have the solo player from GEX trying to make his way through Yasnaya and Ghost and W-Click.
As you said, and now they're going to have to get moving. That blue zone's moving. So it's time to leave the apartments in Yaz as a Freak of Freaks and Red Cannons start the fight. Iroh still alive, of course. TSM down to the southeast. They're going to get involved here with the knockdown of the Rusty Zero. Michael's going to take the vehicle, try and just find a position inside of the zone that he can crash into and try and stay alive. Andy spots Lambu, but he doesn't get the shots. Trying to just get one more peak shot to land. He's unsuccessful, though. Rusty Zero was knocked down, so Red Cannons are down to 3.
I mean, the whole time this fight is going on, it allowed TSM to make their way into the circle. Red Cannons was distracted after Rusty Zero went down to Iroh.
Fight happening inside of Yasnaya as well between W-Click and Ghost Gaming. It seems pretty even. A Freak of Freaks and Red Cannons. This is taking its time right now between these two teams. It's certainly dragging on, which is bad news for Red Cannons because the Blues right behind them. Luke 12 stealing kills. He gets Raspu. Alo finds a knockdown onto McCoy. There goes W-Click. Lazarus now up to 7 kills. They had 4 the last time we saw them. They're feeding on both the teams coming out of the apartments and out to the east between Red Cannons and the Freak of Freaks.
And meanwhile, Michael is actually picking up a few of these here, getting it down for TSM. So that's another point picked up for them, as it looks like Red Cannons, Psycho the last one up. It looks like he might be trying to wrap down here south and see if he can maybe get involved with TSM. You can see they hop in the vehicle. Alo sending the shots, but it's not going to be enough to finish him off.
Gets to the base.
Oh, that's so close.
Easy's still alive at the back. He actually got the knockdown to Iroh, so Michael's the loss for the line for TSM. A Freak of Freaks is trying to hold out far east, but Lazarus continued to just have this Overwatch view of them, making it almost impossible for a Freak of Freaks to move any further at all. I mean, Lazarus should be winning this game from here on out, Poro.
Absolutely. I mean,
Hey, look at the circle again.
Jeez, this thing is set up.
Oh my days.
But you know what? I mean, this goes back to when the circle cut to the south and cheated to the south and made everybody have to make that decision about whether they wanted to cut south or stay north. Lazarus held to their guns, stayed north. Now it's paying off for them as they are coming up huge, and that's 10 kills, and TSM has been finished off, or Ira has been finished off. Michael's still alive. 7 kills, though.
Massive for Lazarus, though, this game and what it's going to do for them. 10 kills. Undoubtedly, they're going to get a couple more as well as this rounds out.
This is also huge for AFF. I mean, AFF and QM, both of these teams were very, very low. QM does go out there in third.
This is not over just yet, Poro, because Purdy Curdy and Alo are actually not with the two downs members of Lazarus. Uncivil and Luke 12 both got knocked down by NN. This is going to allow a Freak of Freaks to push to the next circle with no pressure at all. They want to take this fight up close. Purdy's trying to run as quick as he can to go and get the revives. But the same time it takes for him to get to Luke 12 and Uncivil is the same time it's going to take a Freak of Freaks to get over towards the base of this mountain. We have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
They don't have nades. No nades on AFF. He does have a Molotov, so that could be something that they pull off here, as Purdy is going to go ahead and turn his attention back towards the AFF boys. This is a huge game for them as well. They had 15 points going into today. They needed to have a big first game to play off of, and how big is it going to be? Can they clutch it out in the 2v4?
It's still going to be very difficult. Purdy Curdy got the revive, so now 4 up again for Lazarus. Look, all it did for a Freak of Freaks, it got them a hope at a chance here. If they can find the knockdown onto Alo and Purdy Curdy, or do what they did again to Uncivil and Luke 12, then it makes it a 2 versus 2. And then got 2 pretty quick headshots. The nade, though, from Alo. It's straight to the tree of NN and Lambu. It's just going to hit at the front side, though. No damage inflicted, but Alo still gets Lambu. NN behind the tree. It's going to be very difficult from here. He did a good job before to get the double knock, but that's all it will be for Not. 13-kill win